So this is another problem involving fractions, and using math drawings can help us solve problems involving fractions. A recipe requires 4/5. So there's a fraction here, and we're gonna highlight the whole. So for this fraction, notice that 4/5, it's out of a liter of juice. So the whole will be a liter again. Okay, so next, and you have 2/3 of a liter. So this problem is actually very similar to one of the previous problems, which is the potion problem. But this one is a little harder because these two fractions, 4/5 and 2/3, they don't have the same denominator. Okay, so first of all, both of them these fractions do have the same whole, which is 4/5 out of a liter and 2/5 out of a liter. But the different difficult part is, and the denominators are different. So one of them has the denominator 5, the other has 3. So if we compare to one of the previous problems we did, both out of a liter, they do have the same whole. But also, not only that, they also have the same denominator. So when you divide both wholes into the 5 equal parts, they have the same size. But in our case, so if we do that, and so let's look at the drawing here. Again, because they're both out of a liter, they have the same whole. So you have make sure you draw this two identical paper strips. And then we're going to divide, for the first fraction, 4/5, we have to divide into 5 equal parts, each of size 1/5. But for the second fraction, we're going to divide it into 3 equal parts, each of them has size 1/3. And so now you can see the blue parts, each part is bigger than the yellow part, the size of each part in yellow. Okay, so question, what fraction of the recipe can you make? So this is almost exactly the same question. Instead of saying a liter of some kind of potion and dragon snot to make the potion, and we're saying a liter of juice. So instead of making a potion, we're making just some kind of recipe. Okay, but again, the difference is the denominators are different. So in the previous question, if we will look, it's quite easy. After we draw these two fractions, paper, and you can see, because they have the same size, either whether it's yellow or blue, all we have to say the blue is 3 out of the yellow 4, so it's 3/4. But now we cannot do that because when you look at the drawing, they have the blue parts and the yellow parts, they have different sizes. So we cannot say we have 2 out of 4 because these two parts, each of size 1/3, but the 4 parts each has size 1/5. So they have different sizes. We cannot say we have 2 parts out of 4 parts anymore. So of course, if they have different sizes, we can use equivalent fractions to turn them into the same size parts or like parts. And in order to do that, we will look at the denominators, find the 3. So we have 5 parts and 3 parts. How do we turn them into the same number of parts? So of course, we found a common denominator, 15, because we can multiply 3 by 5 and 5 by 3 to turn both of them into 15. And remember, when we convert a fraction to an equivalent fraction, we must do multiplication. So that's why we try to multiply 3 by a number and 5 by a number to end up with the same, a common number. And so once we figure this out, we just need to do more division. So for the first fraction, 4/5, because we're going to multiply both the top and by 5, which means we're going to have to divide each yellow part into 5 equal parts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I do have that in the next page, so I'm not going to do that here. And for the second fraction, we're going to multiply each of them by 5 parts. By 3. Oh, I guess I had it backwards here. Sorry. So we're going to divide each of these 1 by 3. So into 1, 2, 3. But for the second fraction multiplied by 5, so we divide the bigger one into 5 equal parts. So I do have the picture right here. So again, the left side one, that was the fraction. This is the fraction 4/5, and this is 2/3. And you can see that for the fraction 2/3, each part is bigger. And what we did was we multiply by 3. So we divide each of them into 3 equal parts, which is right here. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So I'm not going to show that here. And for the blue part, we divide into 5 equal parts because we multiply both the top and bottom by 5. So we get a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and so on. Okay, so now we're going to turn these fractions. So this one is turned into, so we multiply by 3 and the 3, so we got 12 out of 15, and by 5 and 5 we got 10 out of 15. Okay, so now we can turn the original question again into whole number question now, so we don't have to worry about a 4/5 of a liter anymore. So all you have to say is a recipe requires, against the 4/5, which is the yellow part here, and we had 4 parts. And originally we did have 4 parts, and we had the recipe needs 4 parts. We have 3 parts because they have different sizes. We couldn't say, I'm sorry, 2 parts. We couldn't say 2 out of 4. But now, because they have the same sizes, look, the yellow, whether it's yellow or blue, they have exact the same size, which is 1/15. And now here we have 12 parts. So all you have to say, okay, a recipe requires 12 parts of juice. And you have, notice we have 10 parts of blue. So that's, we have 10 parts of juice. And what fraction of the recipe can you make? So what we have 10 parts. Well, we need 12 parts, so it's 10 out of 12. And of course, if you want, you can reduce this fraction down to 5/6 by combining the 2 parts into a bigger part.